What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we do another regionals question and answer. And what's your name?
Brandon Smiley,
And what regionals are we talking about?
Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, now before anybody starts freaking out, there's Brandon doesn't want to share his list. He is potentially going to another regional, so I mean, can't blame him.
Fort Wayne.
Yeah, Fort Wayne. Can't blame him for not wanting to leak his list. But after Fort Wayne, I mean, are you gonna make an article or something or anything?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna probably write something for 60 cards or maybe 6 prizes.
Okay, so once the article goes up, don't worry, there'll be a link down below, and if he makes top 8 again, don't worry, I'm pretty sure he won't care about sharing his list after Fort Wayne, since everything will be different in 5 or 6 months whenever the next regionals is.
3.
Yeah, 3. It's pretty far, like, yeah. I mean, we'll have a whole new set, so it'll probably change some. Alrighty, but what deck did you play? We didn't even announce that.
I played Vileplume, Aegislash, Miltank, Mewtwo, and Slurpuff.
Okay, definitely a
Yeah.
weird deck, yeah. Yeah. Binder drop kind of thing, maybe.
A what? Oh, you kind of,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. But all right. So what happened during day one? What were the matches you played against?
Let me open this real quick. I played mostly like it was a weird mix. So I played two fairy decks, which is actually really bad for me because they have free retreat, and like one guy played Cobalion to get through Aegislash, and the other guy played Diancie EX, which like one shot of my Miltanks and I couldn't touch with Aegislash, so that was really hard. And someone's coming at my door, and then I played a Night March, which was I 2-0'd it because I got turned on Vileplume, and then a Blastoise, and oh, I played another Night March as well. Just a bunch of good matchups, things where like if you get turned on Vileplume, you just automatically win, pretty much.
Okay. Did you win those fairy matchups? Were they the bosses?
I won one of them. He actually got a game loss, or the one that played Cobalion got a game loss, game one for having his deck like, sideways like that, and it was like his fifth warning or something like that, and they just gave him a straight up game loss, and
Okay.
then it
Okay.
was ridiculous. And then the other guy got 2-0'd like really fast.
Okay. All right. So going to day two, are you excited that your deck has performed well? Like, what's going through your head at that point?
I was 26 seed going into it. Uh, my cousin was 28 seed with the same deck. I knew I had to either go 302 or 4-1 to make D2, so I was kind of nervous. I wasn't really expecting to do too well. And then it just all fell into place. I went 302. After I started 202, I had ID the fourth round. I played my cousin, which was mirror match, and I don't want to play that. Uh, and then, yeah, just last round I played Jacob Van Wagner, Blastoise, turn one Vileplume both games, and he lost.
Okay. All right. So going to top 8, what are you going to play against?
Like half the top 8 was Eviltall, so you know I was destined to play one of them. I was actually the last 30 to make it in, so there was a 30 that missed. That was playing Totina, and I was fortunate to be the 8th seed, and then I played Sosa, who was first seed of the Eviltall Archeops.
How did that go?
Game one, I got turn one Vileplume, and I just from there, he couldn't play items, and he eventually lost. Just Mewtwo and Aegislash and Miltank did work. Oh, and then game two, yeah, oops, forgot there were other games. Game two, I did not hit turn one Vileplume, and then just he got big Eviltalls, and that's really hard to deal with because he has Darkrai for free retreat, he has Baby Eviltalls to get back his energy and just put damage on my guys, and then Big Eviltall does a lot of damage. And then game three, I whiffed turn one Plume, and then I actually had to discard my Vileplume, one of them, with Juniper on turn one, without being able to do a deck search, and then I prized my second Vileplume, and I only played two. So after that search, I just scooped, and because I can't beat Eviltall when he has items.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, top 8 but still with the road deck is very great. So congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. It was an interesting deck, but definitely not one I would play again in that form.
Okay, so you talked about how you got turn one Vileplume a lot. How often did you think you got it?
Um, over 50% of the time. It's not as easy as turn 1 Blastoise, but as long as you hit the Fog on turn 1, the Forest Giant Plants, you usually just get it. You have enough search cards in
Okay.
my list.
All right. So, what was the reason behind like the Miltank, the Mewtwo, and Aegislash? Because you played like three different attackers. We saw another deck that just played like Miltank and Regice. They had top eight, but why did you decide to put those three?
So Miltank's just a fast attacker that's for 1 energy, as long as you get Vileplume out. It's also 1 prize, and although his damage is a little bad, I mean 80 for 1, it's not 90 of course, but it's fine. He's just consistent. And then Mewtwo is mainly for Blastoise. They usually have to load up Big Kill You, and then they'll miss all their energies because they don't have no supporters, or they'll discard them, you know. And then Mewtwo's also good, just DCE, does however much damage, and it's just a strong attacker.
Okay.
And then, what, Sean? Oh, and yeah, Miltank also, like, sets up well for Mewtwo, so like 80, and then if they knock it out, you have Mewtwo just on the bench to finish something off. And then Aegislash is really good against a lot of the meta, like Seismitoad. They make Seismitoad literally a card that says, colorless, pass. I mean, that's how bad Seismitoad is against, like, my deck.
Exactly.
And then it also shuts down Night March. They have to either Hex Maniac to attack through it, or use Mew. And if they use Hex Maniac while they have Archeops, I'm able to get on my Vileplume typically. Like, that's why I wasn't too worried about Vileplume, Archeops, because I have Aegislash. And then, let's see, Aegislash is also good against just pretty much everything. Like, most decks are running at least 4 special energy right now.
Okay. Now, would you say that if you got the Vileplume out turn 1, are you going to win like majority of your matchups, or is there one matchup that you think you will always lose no matter what you do?
I got out turn 1 Vileplume against the Fairy deck, Diancie. So if I ever play against Diancie, I think I'll still lose either way. Otherwise, I think almost every matchup aside from Yveltal is pretty winnable as long as you get the turn 1.
Okay.
Yveltal can still pull it out.
Just because it only needs like 1 energy and I don't know, seems pretty good. But what was your favorite attacker overall during the weekend?
My favorite attacker was probably Aegislash. Like, in most matchups, I would either just put, like, a metal and a DC on there and then slowly win the game, or I would wall behind it and deck them out. That happened quite often.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. Now, like I said before, we saw another deck with Regice. Did you consider that at all, or did it just like slip your mind, or?
Actually, so the way we came to playing this deck was our good friend Austin Baggs, who just recently joined our team, Mad Pulse. He had been testing the deck a lot lately, and he thought it was really good. And he came to one of our Mad Pulse Invitationals, one of our small tournaments we have, just between the team, and he actually won it with it. And so we were like, oh, cool, this deck's really good. And this was like a week before regionals, so no one really knew about it. I mean, he had told us about it a little bit before he had joined, and so we just kind of picked it up, a lot of our team, and we decided to play it. And I'd actually never played a single game before the tournament with the deck, so round 1 was the first time I had played the deck, just going into it. And so I hadn't really considered Regice, but now that I know about it, I would definitely include it in the deck and move things around to make room for it.
Okay. Now, we didn't really talk about Slurpuff at all, but would you say Slurpuff was like, did it help you a lot, or was it really like a dead card overall?
It helped a lot. It was consistent. It kept the deck running and flowing, because you can't play your items, which don't allow you to search your deck for Pokemon mainly. Energies, supporters. I run a lot of supporters, of course, because I have Vileplume, and so being able to dig out like AZ or Lysander, which I played high counts of, like, the Regice list played 1 Lysander. That was really bad. You really need Lysander to bring out things that really just mess with your deck, aka like Trubbish, anything, stuff like that they could set up. So, yeah, Slurpuff was really good to just get through my deck. I ran a 2-2 line, so like I didn't have too much of a problem setting it up, but I never used more than a 1-1 typically.
Okay. Now, besides the Regice, was there anything else in your deck that you were missing during the whole tournament, or was it pretty much everything was solid?
I think almost everything was solid. Like, the list flowed really well. I think I only ran 2 Shaymaniacs. I really would have liked a third. So little tidbits of information about my deck. I mean, just, a third Shaman would have been nice.
Alright, so we know he plays 2 Vileplume, 2 Shaman, and a 2/2 Slurp Flying Guys. There you go. That's all you need to know.
It's actually like all you need to know.
Alright. Well, how many championship points does this put you at right now?
I'm at 165 and 75 from the Boston Open, 75 from Arizona, and then I've only filled one LC up, so
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. So this year, last year we saw the top 16. You had to get like what, 700, like 600 points, 700 points, something like that.
I think it was like low 600s, if I recall correctly.
Okay. Now, are you going to aim to go for that, or are you just trying to go like whatever happens, happens kind of thing?
I am definitely aiming for top 16. I don't see how I couldn't hit it from here, just because I've had such a strong start, and I usually just run through cities pretty easily, and that'll be an extra 200 points, so it shouldn't be too hard to hit from here on out.
Okay, all right. So looking forward into Fort Wayne. We talked about how you are going to go to it, but
Possibly.
No, not what?
I'm not for certain going to Fort Wayne. I do have friends going, like team members going to Fort Wayne.
Okay. Now, if you theoretically were to go, would you play the same deck, or is there something else that's sparking your interest right now?
I would not play the same deck if you forced me to. Like, Evil Tall is such a bad matchup for it that it's not funny, and I think Menetric is also going to pop up more, which is also a fairly bad matchup for the deck. I would consider changing around my deck and adding Regice to it. That's one of the things currently. Another thing I would consider is possibly like a Menetric deck that I'll be working on in the next week or so. And of course I'll be looking at the results from Lancaster and seeing what did well and moving from there.
Okay, alright. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Number one shout out goes to Austin Bags for creating the deck and just making the list and making it work, and Mad Pools for being my supporting team and really just a lot of things. And then Sean Hip for also doing well with the deck. He got 16th, and you can see him right there. Yeah. And then Will McGowan for helping us with travel and stuff, and then Matthew Porter for being the driver to Arizona. So, and then 60 cards because they're awesome. And then 6 prizes for being okay.
For being okay. So how did Austin Bags do, real quick?
So he started 401 in Houston, and then he faced 3 bad matchups as far as I know, and just kind of failed from there.
Oh, okay. It's sad to see that he didn't do so great with the deck, even though he won like the Mad Pools tournament.
Yeah, he created a deck but didn't do as well, which is unfortunate, but happens. That's luck in the Pokemon game.
Very true. Alright, well thank you so much for doing this interview, and once again, congrats on top 8. It's fantastic, and hopefully you have the same results in other regionals and you get that top 16.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Alright, man. Well, take care, and see you,
You too.
buddy.
All right.